Hello, 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 everyone. Guess what day it is? It is Thanksgiving Thursday. And of course, I am your host, Verona Willis-Brown, right here on the Question Live Show. So tonight we are in for a treat. You know what we do on Thursday? We get here, we showcase your story, your book, your work in progress, so we could grow, build, but most of all, support each other. That's what this space is all about. We're here to support each other into life journey. Because you see what happened? No one person can succeed by themselves. We need each other one way or the other. And that's why I'm your host, sitting here, welcoming tonight. We have two guests tonight. We have two guests tonight. So tonight, you have to sit back, you have to relax, and enjoy the show. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the Question Live Show. If this is not your first time tuning in, welcome back. It is always a pleasure having you here. You could have been otherwise minded, but you took the time out to be here with us. Now, if you look up there, wait, that way, up there, the other way, that way, no, that way. Right. You see that says live? It's in that little box. It says live. Simple mean you are in the live audience. And what do we do when we're in the live audience? We share. Absolutely. We share and we invite someone else in the live audience with us. So we can all have a live audience and enjoy live music, live reading, just life. Now that we got that out of the way, you have time to go use the bathroom and do whatever else you need to do. Now, let's get this thing right. We have rules here. Yes, we do. We have rules. Rule number one, I just stated right there, share, share, share the live up there. Then we have, get something to drink. I don't know what you drink. Maybe it is water. Maybe it is wine. Maybe it is soda. Maybe it is juice. I don't know what is it that you drink. Or maybe it's a cup of tea. Depends on where you're tuning in from. So we like to have something to drink. So I do have my glass right here. Next, grab yourself pen, paper. Yes, little paper, notebook, whatever it is you got to have. But make sure that you have your writing tools. If you don't have these, know what? Your devices do have notepads because we do drop juicy contents here and golden nuggets, which you need to write down. So those are our three rules there, very simple rules. Which one you did not understand, I will go over it while we go on into this show. So now, if you are ready, then I am ready. Because tonight's episode, before we go into tonight's episode, you know what I do. Oh, welcome back, Fountain. Welcome back. You know what I do here. Each time I am going to represent an island of some sort, or country of some sort, I do wear a representation, my Erics. Now, if you're in the audience and you know what country I'm representing tonight, please put it in the comments. Otherwise, we'll just wait for it to be the question of the night. What country am I representing? So if you're ready, let me know you're ready as we roll into this episode of the Question Live Show. Well, to that, let me step aside and as I introduce our very first guest. Francois. Philadelphia, Pendeque. Coleman Wesley is the creative powerhouse behind CC Inc., an innovative storytelling company that conveys powerful narratives through poetry books, playwright, fashion, blogs, and motivational speaking. She is significantly inspired by her late mother's penchant for prolific storytelling and developing a strong sense of faith. As a survivor of abuse, Wesley believes in passing on the communication skills she developed to cope in those environments. She's also an accomplished playwright with her latest project, a gospel stage play, The Beautiful Truth About an Ugly Lie, scheduled to be released soon. Chanelle's greatest accomplishment, however, will forever remain becoming a mother to her six beautiful children and Gigi to her two grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, my sister, Chanelle Coleman Wesley.
Hi, everyone.
Chanelle, darling, how are you? That's always the very first question. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. And how are you?
I am doing fabulous. I love to be here. I love when I'm graced with queens.
Yes. I,
Yes.
I
So let us know where you are tuning in from and let us know a little bit about the work that you just came up with because the headline tonight says, Be He Naked.
yes,
So,
I love it. uh, well, I'm tuning in from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And let's see something about me. I just think the fact that I love to give. I'm a giver. I'm a person who loves to inspire, to motivate, to encourage. And I think I love people and organizations that are really depth into pouring into other people, which is one of those reasons why I feel such a kindred spirit with you because you are definitely a giver, person who believes in pouring into others. So that's something I can definitely identify with. And that's really what's going on with me tonight.
and that is enough. We will take it because guess what? We are going to go in the naked
Okay.
section. And people, when we say naked, we're not talking about please take off your clothes. We're not taking off no clothes in here. We're
That's right.
not doing that, okay? We will not take off no clothes. Absolutely, yes, you should have something to drink because Chanel got her drink on, I got my drink on, we are going in. So it's not about you taking off your clothes because we are not responsible for your clothes being off.
Mm-mm. No.
We are talking about naked truth,
Mm.
stripping the emotions, stripping off the mask of what we are wearing and how we want to come authentic.
Yes.
I want to bring it to the forefront of stop saying that we are something that we are not. So we oftentimes call it the naked truth.
Yes.
Mm. And your book is called?
Naked and Not Ashamed, the transformational devotional experience.
Okay, so y'all hear that.
Yeah.
Naked and not ashamed. Mm. So if you're naked, literally, please put on some clothes even though we can't see you. Okay? We don't want that. We don't want that. We are going to talk about what is it that you need to tap into to become your authentic self.
Yes.
So, first of all, congratulations on your book.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Listen, listen, ladies and gentlemen. I saw it because, like, sister is sister is showing off, But I love when people. Yes, Lord, there it is, right there. Y'all see that? So that's her. So let us jump into it. Let us jump into it really, really,
Okay.
really quick. What does it mean to be emotionally naked?
Mm. It's being exposed, being willing to be in a place where you're vulnerable, but that vulnerability produces so much power and strength and courage. Um, just being uh, the the truest representation of yourself, no longer wearing any mask or trying to hide behind a facade. Butt naked truth. That's what it is.
Listen, we've been told to wear masks for like 3 years. And when we do wear this literal mask that they told us to wear, people can pass us on the street and don't even know who we are.
Right.
You know? So when we get into the nakedness of the emotion, we want to tap into our emotion and we want to pull out what we are feeling, but we don't oftentimes have to act on that feeling. We don't have to lash out.
Mm,
We can take it in and just dissect it. And sometimes we have to lash out.
true. True.
It's like sometimes they're like, sometimes you have to curse.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah.
Sometimes you gotta get in there and let that out. Lord, forgive us.
Please. In Jesus' name. In Jesus' name, forgive us. Yeah.
Amen, Lord. Please forgive us, but sometimes they provoked us to such
Yeah.
a point where we have to say certain words that we don't really want to say. But guess what? That is why we are we.
Mm,
That's what make us up. That's what's saying that I can't just like pretend I am not hurting.
right.
I am not going to pretend that you did not betray me. I am not
Yeah.
going to pretend that I am not feeling the pain of neglect and abuse.
Mm,
So when I am feeling that and I let it out and I express that, that's saying that I am being naked.
yes.
I ain't going to sit there and play. I'm not playing with y'all
I
people.
see. I see.
I try to tell you, I'm not playing with y'all people. I ain't playing. I'm not here to play. Again, people, please let me know what island I'm representing tonight. But you all get that later. We're on this naked truth helping here up
Yes.
here. So how long did it took you to write that book?
Actually, it did not take too long at all. I started last year. Well, I originally started, but I ended up stopping. I wrote like maybe a couple of pages, and I put it down, lost it, and started back rewriting last year at the bottom of the year. And I would say from like the end of December till about like February, Marchish. I sent it over to my editor. We began to work really relentlessly on it. Candace Lola, she's amazing. She just has the ability to be able to pull things out of writers without masking your voice. Sometimes people can edit your work and then you can't even find yourself in your work, and those are not your words, it's not your feelings or any of those things. And that was not the experience that I had with her at all. She asked probing questions, things that helped me to pull out various points, and we were really on the same page. So we had very good chemistry writing, and that's important. So it all in all, I would say it was less than a year, very a few months, and then I think the most time consuming process was the editing, going back and forth.
So that's like almost December, January, probably 3 months, 3.5 months. See, people, it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
And every one of us have a story inside of our belly.
Yeah.
We all have a story. And if I tell Chanelle's story, then that's not me.
Mm-hmm.
If Chanelle tell my story, then that's not her. We
Right.
all have to come to a point where we tap into ourselves, find our story, dig it out, and present it.
Yes.
Because the more we present our story, even time we don't want to talk about our story, but guess what happened? I learned this. It could be someone else's solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Your very story that you go through all these things, oftentimes it's not yours.
It's
But
not.
we are so afraid to let it out because we fail to realize that somebody's waiting for it.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
You're hitting it right on the head. You really are.
I'm just trying to let you know. Spill out that story. You don't gotta write a book like us, but but we all have the potential to do just that.
Yes.
It don't gotta be 250 pages book. 20 pages is fine. We take it. If that's your story, we take it right here. All right. In your book, you mention abuse.
Yes.
Now that you mention abuse, we are going to go into the type of abuse we are talking about.
Okay.
So tonight is naked truth. We have to speak the truth and let this truth, they said, let the truth set you free, honey. Let the truth set you
Mm-hmm.
free. And it's all about freedom here. It's all about the freedom to feel free. You get it? Audience. The freedom to feel free is when you feel light. You're not carrying the weight of neglect and abuse and betrayal on your shoulder, weighing you down. We want to get out there. We want to be, because for you to be your authentic self, you have to tell the truth.
Yes.
So in your book, you mentioned something on abuse. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
What type of abuse was
I talked about sexual abuse, which was one of the first stories that I actually utilized in the book, and it was something that was, uh, like I said, a very prominent point in my life. Being between the ages of 4 and 5 years old is when you're really developing awareness about relationships, trying to determine who is trustworthy, um, identifying who you are as your own self, how you're coming to be. And that instance in my life and that situation with my older foster brother really was I guess maybe like a turning point in my story, in my narrative. Um, it was something that truly impacted me, not just the incident itself, which I do explain in graphic detail in the book. Um, I think it was my grandmother's reaction to me being naked,
that?
which was like in some ways um, more startling than the incident with Tony itself.
Yes.
It's because, to me, like I was running, I'm trying to escape, and I was so excited, you know what I'm saying, to
Yeah.
to see her and to be at a place that represented security for me.
Yes.
And then to see her reaction to me, because I'm running up to her and I have absolutely no clothes on. And her reaction is just like, Chanelle, where are your clothes?
Right, right, right.
And then now I have to say, what happened to my clothes, why I don't have my clothes on, all of these various things. It was just an experience that really brought me a lot of shame. I
Mm.
didn't feel shame until the moment that she said, where are your clothes? So then that's when
Yeah.
I'm like, all of a sudden now I feel shame, because at first I was feeling fear and adrenaline and I'm running. So I didn't have a chance to really feel those things. But now I feel all of those things. And so I just think it's funny that when, not funny, aha, but funny, ha, like irony. When people suffer abuse, a lot of times they feel shame when they've done nothing shameful, and there's
Right.
nothing to feel those types of feelings for. But it's just a commonality. Those are things that are just associated with abuse. We feel shame.
And that's what it is because most of the time, or majority of the time, it's always a contributing factor of someone
Mhm.
else. Always. It's not us that put ourselves out there like, hey, we're going to feel this or weird.
Mhm.
No, it's always someone else pouring or interrupting our space
Yes.
that causes us to feel shame.
Hmm.
Always. We didn't born with that. We were like, oh, today we're going to feel ashamed. No. Someone else interrupt that space. Someone else
Mm.
added on to that. And yet, that person or persons who did that walk away.
Mm.
Walk away. And you're the victim in shame. But yet, they're walking away without that shame hanging on their shoulder.
Mm.
That right there, I don't want to use the word controversy,
Okay.
but, but yeah, somewhat. Yeah. And it's time for us to accept the fact that what we are going through is not really us as a contributing factor and take off that
Hmm.
and mask ourselves. Feel it. I am
Yeah.
not telling you not to feel it. Feel it. Then unmask that and show yourself. Show yourself and let the other person know, guess what? I will not be naked and ashamed.
Yes.
Audience, are you there? Okay. And before we go any further, audience, if you do have questions for Chanelle, please drop them in the comment section. We will roll into questions as we go along, Chanelle, and you will be able to read a section of your book if you will. But if not, then I have a section that I would like to, since we talk about your grandma section, because that part is what gripped me.
Hmm.
We talk about Tony in the book. Now, you wrote this story. So if you're reading Tony's section at this point in your life, because this happened when you're 4,
Hmm. Between ages of 4 and 5.
right? So no, you passed for a long time ago, many, many, many years ago,
Yes.
right? So now that you're at so many fours later, when you open that book or when you start writing that story, writing that section, how did that let you feel?
It's actually amazing because although I'm 45 now, um, I could still feel that 4-year-old person who, just sometimes you can just close your eyes and just see everything, the sounds. It was really kind of surreal, just kind of walking myself back through those incidents as they were, everything as it was transpiring, and the things that I could pay so much detail to. I mean, outside of that, my childhood at the beginning was very happy. And it's funny, I don't remember in detail any of those moments, but that sticks out crystal clear, and so it was very emotional for me to revisit my past. It was also, it gave me some moments of clarity on just on how I've interacted with people as a result of that situation, um, ideas and things that I formulated, the way that I see the world or see people um, going forward from that incident. So I think it was, like I said, a very defining moment in my life.
Mm. And what happened with being naked? You see, when we are naked, and again, we are talking about not taking off your clothes. We are talking about naked emotionally. We are talking about naked mentally. We are talking about this
Mm.
thing. We're not talking about you taking off your clothes because we are not responsible if you are taking off your clothes at this point. We are not telling you to do that. Okay? We are talking about merging the abuse, the brokenness, the anger, the hurt, the
Mhm.
shame, and evolve
Yes.
into our wholeness, into our freedom, into accepting that these things transpire. However, we are not stuck there. We are not stuck in all of that. I asked you the question, how did you feel when you read Tony's section? It put you back into that place,
Mhm.
and rightfully so, because guess what? That is you.
Yes.
That is, if I said, oh no, you shouldn't be like that, then I would tell you not being yourself.
Right.
And it is okay for you to go in there and find that little girl.
Mm.
And when you find that little girl or little boy, pick that child up and merge that child. Merge that child.
Mm.
And when you merge that child, you become one with that child. And that is how you become your true self.
Yes.
But when you leave that little child crying in the corner or by your grandma's leg, or the
Mm.
little boy,
Yeah.
you're not being your true self. Because you see, oftentimes we grow up to play the fake thing.
Yes.
And we do it so well, imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We do it so well.
Say that.
Oh, I'm okay. I'm blessed. I'm fine. No,
Right.
you're not.
Mm-mm.
Because that little child is still crying.
Mm-hmm.
And then they will say to men, don't cry. Men, please cry. Because somewhere that little boy is sitting somewhere. It might not be Chanel's story, because of course Chanel's story is Chanel's story. But that little boy is somewhere in the corner. That little girl is somewhere in the corner. So I'm asking you to come in, find that little broken boy and little broken girl, merge that child. So we all could grow. So we
Yeah.
all could evolve. So we all could heal. So we all could forgive. Because when you leave that child crying, you're not forgiving. You're not forgiving and you're not being your true self. You're walking around the eye for, no. I could say I love you, but then you're not being truthful.
Mm.
I could say I forgive you, but you're not being truthful. Find
Mm.
that out. Let us merge it. Because that's what nakedness is. Nakedness is being forgiven. And people are like, oh, let it go. But let it go might sound loose, but you have to. That's a part of growth. That's a part. If you don't grow, you're still going to remain that broken child.
Yeah.
And why would we want to walk around being 45 broken? That does not add up. No way, no how. How can they get your book? For those who don't have the book, please, if you don't have the book, please go out there and get this book, and then we can chit chat again with Chanelle. Chanelle, where can they get the book?
They can get the book off of Amazon. That's currently where it's being sold. Um, actually, I'm gonna drop the link inside of the chat so that they'll have it. But they can get that from Amazon. Um, and
And uh-huh.
I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say we have a question in the audience.
I see that. The question is, do you find it healing for you to write that part or a sense of closure? And yes, it was very therapeutic. Writing it out, just processing. Like I said, I learned so much about myself, why I am the way that I am, and a lot of different things, why I see things the way that I see them, how much of an impact that situation had with me personally, um, and just how I've gone on to do my own things, parent, and things of that nature. Just how it just had so many repercussions, like a ripple effect, things that had happened to touch well after the initial contact was made. So, like I said, it was very therapeutic, and I would actually encourage anyone who has gone through abuse to write.
Yes.
It's a healing place and space for a person to be able to um, hold, people accountable for things maybe that they weren't accountable for, to speak truth, um,
Mhm.
and to allow yourself to be able to grow and to be able to heal, because you do want to be able to. It's something that's going to stick with you, but it doesn't have to control you or to silence you. A lot of times people feel um, like they don't have a voice when they've gone through abuse, and so that's one of the things that we do with this book. Try to encourage women to find their voice, men too, but primarily women, to find their voice, to
Yeah.
feel that they are strong and they're capable despite anything that they might have encountered in life.
Excellent. Alexis, did you, welcome Alexis and Cheryl. Did you get that? Because that by itself is just a golden nugget by its own self, like probably 10 golden nuggets in that. So I told you to have your writing writing tools ready. Because yeah, that by itself answer everyone who had a question right there. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
You're welcome, Alexis.
Yes. All right. I know that this is your final question because we have another guest coming up. And I noticed that you went in and you used scriptural, I would say, backup, or you use Eve.
Yes.
And first of all, when I start reading, it tickles me. It tickles me. Why did you use that depiction to align your book?
Oh, okay. So with Eve's story, um, I drew a parallel because she was very trusting of the serpent. Uh, and I just want to say, good job, Alexa. She says she's writing so good.
That's
Uh,
right, honey. Hello.
and I drew a parallel with Eve because she was deceived. She was a person who was taken in by the serpent. She befriended him. She felt like this person was going to bring her something that she had been supposedly been denied since her existence, this new thing, and she trusted everything that he said he was and what he was going to offer her, and he ended up being none of those things. It was a facade, and a lot of times, when abuse happens, people are befriending you, people are gaining your trust, and you are placed in situations where you are hurt, and it's because they utilize deceit um,
Mm-hmm.
in those spaces. And so I just felt that it paralleled because uh, Tony worked out a scenario to get me in a situation
Yes.
which was similar to what the serpent did to Eve. He tricked her, uh, got her guard down, made her feel comfortable, told her all these, wonderful things, and then it just turned out to be lies. And so I think there are so many parallels in stories like this because sometimes we look at them like this story is old, like how could I get anything? But it's still current
Yes.
and relevant today because sometimes people aren't always who they claim to be, unfortunately.
Mm. And did you hear that? Deception. Deception
Mhm.
is real. Mhm. Deception is real, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Naked and deceived. We are going to leave you on that note so you could think about it. Naked and deceived. And we are going to put the link of the book in the chat so you can go out and you can support my sister right here. But before I let you go, there's always a question that has nothing to do with your work.
Okay.
For one, let me do this. I want to celebrate you for your book, the work that you're doing, because you have a play coming up.
Yes.
All right. So we are going to jump into that almost at the end, but I want to celebrate you for being a woman of strength. I want to celebrate you for two-time grandma.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, Gigi.
Yes. I'm a Gigi.
So I want to celebrate you for that. And I want to celebrate you for your book. I want
Mhm.
to celebrate your success as you go into life's journey. I want to celebrate you at that. So
Thank
while I do
you.
all of that celebrating moment, people, I don't tell you I need to have a drink. I do have mine right here. That's it. Yeah, I raise you a glass because we say cling, cling, cling. We say,
Mhm.
yes, there we go. Celebrate you right here. So your fun question tonight is, um, what's your favorite thing to do and why?
I love to travel. Travel is one of my favorite things. I mean, I love getting in a plane and going someplace far away where there's beautiful islands and I mean like Jamaica is like one of my all-time favorite places and I'm planning on going next month. But I love to travel and if I had to pick something short and sweet, massage. Self-care is so
Ooh,
important.
all right. Well, my dear sister. All right. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, you hear it right here on this. We might have to bring her back for a second part of being naked because
Okay.
these are juicy, juicy stuff. So, sis, I want to thank you so much for gracing us with your presence right here in the Question Live Show. And to my left There's a chair. I call it my guest chair. You just can't see, but it's there. It is my guest chair. Now that you are here, your name is stamped onto that chair. Simple mean you are welcome to come back anytime you
Thank
want.
you.
This is home. Girl,
Thank
this is
you.
home. You just knock. Ding, 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 ding. Can I come home? And I'll say, yes, welcome back. Welcome home, darling. Welcome home. So
Thank
as
you so much.
I tell you, as I dismiss you, I want to dismiss you in peace. I want to
Mm,
dismiss you in love, in prosperity, in strength. Every thought, every path that you take, I pronounce a blessing on you. I
amen.
pronounce a blessing that your path may not be crooked,
Mm,
but it may be straight,
yes.
that you may walk into success. And I just need for you to remember one thing, that when you reach to a certain point, try to reach back.
Yes.
Try to reach back and get someone on the path of success with you. So, again, from my heart, not my lips, from my heart, to
Mm,
your heart, to your space, to your home, I said, may success be yours. And of course, God is in front of you.
yes.
So
Received and reciprocated. I wish you the best.
before you go, any shout out so we could bring the next guest on? Any shout out you want to give?
Yes, I just want to thank my editor, Candace Lola, and my amazing illustrator, uh, Janet Peterson, and my daughter, Tatiana Lee, who does all the behind the scene work for me. So thank you guys.
All right. So you hear it right here, audience. That was my dear sister, Chanelle. Chanelle, thank you, darling, for being here with us on this episode of the Question Live Show. Ladies and gentlemen, take a deep breath as we are going to take a break and we welcome our next guest. But in the meantime, take a deep breath, look up there, you see the live. What you do? You share it. So let's take a quick break and we will be right back with our next guest. Now we are back. I hope you did have something to sip, 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 sip. And I hope you keep writing, writing, writing. Because, again, the first question I asked, what island am I representing tonight? I like to represent the island or the country in what? My earrings. So if you still don't know what island I'm representing, take a close look. I might be missing a color, but that's beside the point. The main colors are right here. The white should be the back of my wall. I don't know. But whatever it is, what country do you think I'm representing tonight? That is the question we ask. So let me introduce our next guest. A Caribbean author, playwright, and director from the beautiful Twin Isle nation of Trinidad and Tobago. Recently self-published a book called Where's Sarah Gone? It is a young adult Caribbean historical fiction novel. She is a storyteller in her region. Niques believes in telling the stories of the unknown Black woman as well as expressing the rich culture in the Caribbean. Ladies and gentlemen, Niques Francois.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, my sister. I try not to tell the secret, but Lord, ain't nobody trying to get the answer. Lord Jesus, anybody out there?
Thank you for wearing our national colors, red, black, and white. Yes,
Listen, honey, I had no white earring, so I had to just come with two
that's
colors.
that's okay. I appreciate the
Look,
idea for that.
the white is very
They're
small in the
personal.
flag, so yeah, just visualize white, please.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I try to represent. I try to represent my people up in here. Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you very
Yes,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Hello, people. I done told y'all. You was supposed to guess. But then
Thank
since
you
you
so
done
much for
let me say, y'all let me say where she from. I want to tell
nobody guessed
y'all.
it. Nobody.
Nobody guessed it. Good Lord. All right. I had to spill it out. I had to spill it out, darling. I had to spill it out. But who? How you doing?
I'm great.
Right,
I'm
right,
fine here.
exactly.
Thank you
Alexa
so
was
much for
right. That's
having
right.
me on your show. Yes.
We take that.
White
Thank you.
is
Yeah,
fine.
thank you, darling.
That's
Yes,
good.
we will take that.
Mhm, definitely.
Yes, yes. So tell us, first of all, how are you?
I am all right. I'm fine. I am blessed and highly favored. So I'm alive, and that is always good way to see 2022. So, how are you? How are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm
All right.
fabulous.
Good, good, good,
Yeah,
good, good.
I'm fabulous. You're
Okay.
fabulous. We fabulous. I get very excited whenever it's Thursday. Because when Thursday come, I tell you what, Chanel just
Yeah, I see
look.
why. I see why.
Chanel says she's a traveler, and because I'm a traveler also, now that makes us all in Trinidad. Chanel, well, look, I'm going to we all in Trinidad, baby. I don't know what you're talking about, but we all up in Trinidad right now. Alexis, darling, we in Trinidad, baby. Uh huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Bernie, welcome.
that's correct. That's correct.
Yes, we in Trinidad, so we don't
You
know
said
what you're
that
talking
you
about.
went to travel to Jamaica.
We in
Jamaica
Trinidad
is
right
right
now.
there.
I
So
don't know what.
yeah, we all here.
Yep, yep, yep. So yeah. Anyhow, this is how we're gonna do. Congratulations on your book.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, I like to celebrate the people of what we're doing here. You are doing a thing or two over there in Trinidad.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm here to uplift
Honey,
and spread culture around. So yeah, I'm doing my thing here.
listen, I'm going to find something up in there to tell you what she done did. She did a whole bunch of stuff, but Lord, that child almost let me have to drink about 2 glasses of coconut water. Yeah, right there. She let me almost have to drink a whole bunch of coconut water because I was like, what? What happened? Wait, what? Okay, wait, what? Yeah, the list kept going, okay? So she's an author. This is just added on to her accomplishments, okay? She almost got me drinking. I was dehydrated, drinking, reading all that stuff.
Don't make me blush. Don't make me blush.
Okay, so a whole bunch of stuff, but I can't go into all of it because we don't have all the time in the world to go into all the goody stuff that she's doing. But your book is called Where's Sarah Gone?
That's correct.
Mm, that's a very good question. Where's Sarah?
It's a very good question, indeed. So I can tell you a little bit about the book, a little bit
Yes,
about
please, by all tell us about Sarah and where she gone, child.
So I am Niques Francois. I am author, playwright, and director here in the beautiful Twin Island nation of Trinidad and Tobago. And I recently wrote and I published a book based on a play that I wrote way back in 2016. In 2016, I wrote and directed and produced a play called Where Sarah Gone. I was well received here in Trinidad and Tobago. People loved it. And I said, well, it's a good idea that I could convert this story that I wrote and presented on stage into a novel, and that's what I did. When we staged it, it was a calypso musical. I had original calypso pieces because that's what I do. I like to incorporate different parts of the arts, drama, music, poetry. So it was a calypso, what we call here a calypso musical. And so some of the elements of calypso, the calypso genre of Caribbean music, are still in the book. And so I just wanted to produce this and publish this book so that more people can get access to this story and understand a little bit about our culture. So here's the book. I actually have I brought a copy of it. Here it is. So yeah, so that is me. Thank you very much.
Hey, Ooh, child. See, I told you she got a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I'm glad I wasn't listening to all of that. She done calypso play and all sort of. I done told you. Yeah. Alexis done write her first question. Where is she? But that's okay. We gonna answer. We gonna answer where Sarah, Alexis. You don't worry. Well, first of all, let's ask this question. What is Juby? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Juvie?
Oh, I'm just trying to figure what is going on with Sarah. And Alexis trying to do the same thing too.
Yeah, I think it's Juvie you're talking about. I suspect.
Jubie.
Oh,
Uh,
Jubie.
mm,
Jumbie.
Juby.
Jumbie. Oh,
Jumbie,
okay.
Juby. I don't know. We just want to know what it is.
Right, I can tell you what it is. So in the Caribbean, there are a lot of scary stories, folk tales, things like that going on. So
Uh-huh.
Jumbie is one of our. It's just a folk tale about this kind of creepy, spooky character that, and usually a zombie is something that comes out from underneath your bed or in a forest, or and they come to attack you. Usually, you say like something if something bad happens to you, you say zombie on your back, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's what a zombie is. A zombie is a evil spirit, basically.
Hey, so listen, people. If you're not from Trinidad with Jumbie, now wherever you're from, do you know what we are talking about? And if you do, please drop in the comment section. What is it that you call that? Because in Jamaica they call it duppy. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we want to know what is it that you call it in wherever you're tuning in from. What is it that you call it? The boogeyman under the bed. What is it that you call that? Okay. See, she said Jumbie. So wherever you're from, you might have a different name. Let's learn some words here tonight. hmm
Yeah.
So, Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
Where's
Let's
Sarah gone?
talk. Let's talk about Sarah. Sarah doing everything to get her crush to like her.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah is a really interesting character. The story is set in 1962, and in 1962, some really specific things were happening in the Caribbean. A lot of Caribbean islands were gaining independence from the British.
Yes.
Specifically in 1962, Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica in the month of August gained independence from the British. So she is a 16-year-old living in this historical time period where, a lot of things are changing, a lot of the flag, the national anthem, a lot of the school rituals are changing. And she, as a 16-year-old girl, in any time period, you're trying to get independence from your mom, which does not happen in the Caribbean. There is no 16-year-old that exists that gains independence from their mother in the Caribbean. Hell no.
No, no,
No,
no.
no.
We
So,
said no. We gonna put
no,
up a big sign. No.
exactly. Especially not in the 1960s. Anyone who has a mother from that era or grew up in the 1960s in the Caribbean knows that there are, you could get two slap if you talk back. Don't suck your teeth, that kind of thing. So
Yes.
she grows up in this time period and she likes this boy, and there are a lot of other little things happening. There's a zombie spirit in the area, and people are going missing, and she really wants to kind of she's trying to find who she is as a young woman, as well as dealing with the fact that her father he just ups and he went away. She doesn't know where her father is, so she's dealing with a lot of psychological emotions. And then on the flip side, of course, her mother is also dealing with some stuff. Her husband just went away. She's now a single parent in the 1960s, living in the Caribbean as a Black woman. It's hard to get proper work. Slavery recently ended. That kind of stuff. So it's a lot of issues that she and her mother are dealing with. And of course, the book deals with their relationship first and foremost, and how that relationship kind of, goes from bad to worse over the course of the book. So yeah.
So listen now, people. This book was written in roughly around the time frame of 1962. And let's talk about freedom, because you just mentioned a lot of Caribbean islands were gaining their freedom in that time frame, 1962. Now here is Sarah wants her freedom. Now, parents, if you're out there, if you're not a parent biologically, you're a godparent, you're a sister, you're older sibling, whatever it is, at 16, you're not getting freedom. We're not giving you freedom. Yeah, that's what we're trying to say. She wrote that back then. Back then, 1962, possible, okay? Possible you're getting your freedom back then, but this is 2022, honey. No, we're not doing that.
No.
We're not letting you, we're not doing all of that. We're not telling you to go out there, and we're not some teenager call it. Well, it's called emancipated teens. Yeah, that's a whole different story. But I'm not gonna take that from y'all, But I'm just trying to say, listen to me, parents. Teach your children well. And I oftentimes says is that we as parents, we do all these things at home, and it is scriptural that when they grow up, they will not forget. I am just trying to enforce the fact that if you do have children biologically or children around you, in as much as we pray for them, teach them to pray for themselves.
Yeah.
Definitely. That when they get out in the big bad world, they can defend themselves. We are not sending them out there in freedom by themselves. We're not telling them that they need to get the title of being emancipated teens. We are saying that when you pour into them, they should be able to stand up and go out there.
That's correct.
To make solid, not good or bad decision. I don't like to say that. Solid, smart decisions. Very, very smart decisions. So we're not taking anything from anyone who are out there doing whatever they're doing right now. But we're saying for those of you right now that still have the opportunity, we are not in 1962, we're in 2022. Please deposit in your children. Freedom come at a cost.
That's correct.
Freedom come at a cost. Absolutely, yes. Alexis, say informed decisions.
That's correct. Yes. That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I wrote the book because I saw as a teacher, I taught at a high school for several years, and I saw the disconnect between parents and specifically teenage girls. It's really hard to raise teenagers. I think I don't have children biologically, but I have a lot of teenagers around me,
around you, right?
That are close to me. So I see the disconnect. I see them, their parents aren't understanding them. They don't understand their parents, and that's a really troubling time period. That teenage year, those teenage years are really, really troubling time period. So as parents, you have to understand your teenage girl, and as a teenage girl, you have to try to understand where your parents are coming from. There must be that kind of relationship at that age, because too much force, and you get a child that is neglectful, you get a child that is wayward, and too little force, or no reprimanding at all, and then you get a child that doesn't listen to you. So there must be a balance that is struck,
And
especially during
bruise.
years.
And
Yeah,
I
especially.
mentioned earlier to the first guest, bruise. And they
Yeah.
grow up into adults being bruised, and they grow up into adults being scarred. And they forcefully got into adulthood broken. So broken. Broken. And parents, build a relationship with your children emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. Build that
Definitely.
relationship so you can know your children or your child. Have that
That's right.
relationship. It's very important. It is very important. And in the audience, I am going to point her out because she's in the audience. She's an emotional, literal. Alexis, I'm going to shout you out there so you can drop it in. She deals with emotional state of mind. She's a coach that deals with these
Right.
things, and I admire her for what she's doing, because so many times we fail to acknowledge that emotional state, especially in teenager.
Yeah.
Okay, so we drop a pin right there. Alexis, you can drop in. I forgot your coach title, darling. Please forgive me. So since we try to find Sarah,
Yeah.
we want to find all the Sarahs out there. Okay, we want to find all the Sarahs that's listed out there, that's dealing with something like this, because if I'm not mistaken, this is a young adult,
Yes, I'm not young adult novel. That's
all
correct.
right, young adult novel. So young adults, if you are out there, whether you're in the live or you will watch this on replay, address your emotional state of mind. There it is. Alexis put a whole thing right there, and we are going to put it up on screen. Yes. Parents have to get to know their children as they grow and keep the lines of communication open. Key words: communication open. Sometimes parents assume they know their children and actually don't know how much about them because they haven't asked. And that is where we as parents fail. We fail all the time because we don't question. We assume that they're okay. We assume that everything is fine. And we don't ask, are you okay today? Do you want to talk about it? No. Parents, we have to stop that. Stop making assumption. Oh, here she is. She put it nicely right there. What is her title? Yes, that is the title of who she is. Girl, excuse me because I couldn't pronounce all of that good stuff that you said. Yes, but that's what she's saying. Yes, you're right there. Emotional intelligence life coach. Or you can get in touch with her after you finish parents and teenager about this. Her name's right there, Alexis Charles. Yes, you can get in touch with her, and she will go step by step into the emotional state of mind of how we address things as parents and things as little people, I call them little people.
Yeah,
So
the emotional intelligence is really, really important. It's really, really important. I think, especially dealing with teenagers, understanding where they're coming from.
absolutely. So you mentioned, and we go through this all the time. We see it happen, and I think you mentioned somewhere single mother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. So you mentioned somewhere there was a single mother. Somewhere in your book you mentioned this, that the father was a drunkard and the mother had a sour face. I hope I. Let's talk about that section, darling. Let's talk about that section because You might
So,
want to define what that means.
again, because of the Caribbean is made up of so many different cultures and
Yes.
blended together. And then through any writing that I do, through playwriting, through writing short stories, I like to bring up that cultural diversity throughout the Caribbean. So in the book, actually in 1962, there are two major races or ethnicities of people. There were Black people, ex-slaves or children of ex-slaves, and then they were children or indigenous, sorry, not indigenous, children of indentured laborers, and those people were East Indian. So in this story, Sierra she's what we call a Dogala, which is a mixture between a Black person and an Indian person. So you have really wild curly hair. Usually those people are bronze skinned and they have the features of both races. And in the story, you have this strong Black woman as a mother, but their relationship between a mother and a father, it wasn't good. Because in that period of time, having being in a mixed relationship like that was frowned upon, even to some extent today, but to a greater extent in the 1960s, there was this kind of split personality with people who were mixed like that, who were Dogala, who were half Black, half Indian. So that put a strain on the relationship between Sarah's mother and Sarah's father. He got disowned by his parents after he married this Black girl and they didn't have any money, and she started to, sometimes a Black woman, yes, Black women like to talk, open our mouths, and he couldn't take that. And so he left. And so that is how she ended up as a single mother in this story, at the time period of this story. So yeah. A lot of things happening. A lot of things happening in this story.
But you know what? It is good. It is good because we want to address these points. It is good that we pinpoint the area that we need to address, and it goes back to talking about being emotionally attached or detached, right? Because we want to address these points piece by piece by piece. So I like what you did there. You went in there into a time. You went into that time and said, listen, I'm going to address this piece and that piece and that piece and that piece. However, all of that can relate to 2022.
Yeah, of course. The same issues are happening today all across the world. We have single motherhood. We still have
Yes,
single motherhood. We still have teenagers not understanding their parents not understanding their teenagers.
yes,
We still have this idea of teenage love and being lost and caught up in romance to the point that you just lose your mind. You still have all of these issues. So yeah, nothing is new under the sun, as people say. So yeah.
exactly. And my first guess, and I'm going to put the same point. We walk around with masks, right? Not the literal mask that they told us to wear, but we walk around with masks because we walk around pretending as teenager or not teenager that we're okay, right? And then we get involved into something and they're like, oh my God, right? But if you just face that, if you just face reality,
Yeah.
start peeling off layers, as Alexis just said it right there, many layers. If you start peeling off, you will come reality be in front of you. Yes. Oh, Alexa got a question for you right here. What inspired you to write this story?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, I spent a number of years as a high school teacher. So a lot of my students, my past students, they look up to me as a mentor. So they would tell me things. They would tell me, their situations at home. And I found that a lot of, because I was teaching in an all girls school at the point in time, I found that a lot of teenage girls, because they could not confide in their father or in their mother, um, they didn't have that somebody to bounce off ideas to, because as we mentioned before, it's really important to leave those lines of communication open, especially as a child who's from that childhood state into to being a teenager. And if those lines of communication are open, they're going to look for information, they're going to look for somebody to bounce all ideas off of from somebody else. Yeah, they need that safe space. So I found that a lot of teenage girls especially, they didn't have that safe space at home. So they would find their friends or a boyfriend or someone to talk to, and of course that person would give them bad advice. So that is what basically inspired me to write this story about, this young girl and her issues at home, because I felt like if it would be opening point, a point of discussion to have young people read and be like, hey, there is another side to the story where my parents are people too. They're human too. They're going through some stuff. And that doesn't mean they don't care about me, don't love me. But I should still listen to them. And then hopefully when adults read it, they will understand that here's what, I'm going to have to change my method of dealing with my teenager. And it can't be the same way that I dealt with them before when they were a child. So yeah, I that is the reason I wrote this book, so that open your eyes and see that there's a disconnect there. There's a disconnect between parents and teenagers, and that we need to fix it, because then, as you said, we're gonna have a lot of broken people growing up, because that safe space is not encouraged for teenagers to ask questions and feel like if they won't be reprimanded by their thoughts and ideas.
And I couldn't say I've said that any better. I couldn't have said that any better. And of course, Alexis put it right out there. She think this should be told more often.
Yeah.
So I am asking you, your book just came out when?
It's been out since last year. I'm
2021.
launching it. The Kindle is now out.
Yeah.
So you can buy it on Amazon. So it's out already. It's there available for purchase.
Okay, so audience, it is on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the comment section.
Yes, it's on Amazon. Please go out there. If you are a mentor, if you are a parent, if you're a community leader, if you are a big sister, whatever it is, title you hold, please, by all means, go and get this book. Go and get this book. And put it on don't just buy it and put it in your house. Read it and apply it. Yes, Alexis, yes, I'm happy you provided a space for young people to be inspired and use your experience with them to give them a voice. Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. This is what it is all about, for us to create that space, for us to merge in, like I mentioned to the first guest, merge in that little girl, merge in that little boy, merge them in from the hurt to wholeness.
That's good.
Merge them in so they can be their true self by the time they get to the adulthood. Because so many of them they're reaching to adulthood broken. They become broken fathers, broken mother. Can't be responsible adults. Can't make responsible decision. Why? Because you did not hand them that safe space to do that merging.
That's correct.
So we want them to evolve as the butterfly, not a butterfly with broken wings, but we want them to be that nice butterfly, their authentic self, to go out there and create out of wholeness, not out of brokenness.
That's right.
So this, I want to tell you, I salute you for this. I want to congratulate you for this. I want to tell you, even though it was written in 1962, I want to say, honey, yes, we need this right now. Like today, yesterday, we need it right now. We need it right now. Yes, we do. Okay, so I want to Yes, they grow up and mirror your behavior and emotional pattern.
See it all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you
At
very
all
much.
times.
Thank you very much.
Yes, at all times. And then the thing about it, when our children grow up and they mirror us and they make a decision that we consider wrong, right? We consider it wrong, but they make the same decision, then we do what? We
That's
point
nice.
our
That's true.
finger at them and
Mm,
we judge them, but they are mirroring us.
that's right.
So where do
That's
we
right.
stand? We need to change our mindset, people. Change how we view things, how we view our common seeds. Because at the end of the day, our children don't really belong to us. They're only seeds that were given to us for us to water. So let that sink in, parents. And before I let you go, I want to say you did some notable works over there in Trinidad.
Thank you.
Audience, I told you she let me had to sip my water a couple of times right here. As I was trying to read the notable work that she did over there in Trinidad. So Trinidad, please, I'm glad that you recognize this kind of talent here. Um, she won best most original script, 7 Day Adventist Drama Festival short play called Doctor Patience. That's one. She won best most original script and best costume prop 7 Day Adventist drama. That's two. So if you don't have nothing to drink, y'all might want to stick for me because I'm reading all this stuff. And she won something. Okay, first of all, short play doctor. Okay, so that's doctor, and then patience again. So she's winning all this stuff. Then writer, director of musical drama, production, cast the first stone. I don't know. I lost count. Okay, I lost count. Then again, writer, director of musical drama production. Where's Sarah gone? Here we come to Sarah. She did that in 2017. We in 2022. So, and then here we go now. Production manager of drama production change. Darling, I lost count of how many things I just named, but whatever it is, snack. I don't know how many things I just named right there, but Trinidad, I am glad that you recognize talent. When you see talent, you must acknowledge that talent exists. We all got gifts and talent, and it is for us to let it out to the world. And I'm glad that you did. Exactly. Great job. That's what I'm trying to say. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's what I'm trying to say. So as we close down this episode, what's next for you?
So my work is about helping youth development through the arts. So in 2018, sorry, my one of my creative partners, Diane Mansell, and we founded a company called B Entertainment here in Trinidad and Tobago, and we focus on developing young people through the arts, through performing arts, drama, music, dance, poetry. So that is my focus right now. I want to continue writing books, of course, continue writing plays, but it's just to encourage other young people to do what they love to do, to do what they love to do. I believe that the arts is a medium for you development and development on a whole. You mentioned
Yes.
earlier with the previous guest that how writing is therapeutic.
Yes.
So it's to encourage and help other young people to do what they love, to be better people through the arts, through the medium of the arts. So that is what I'm about right about now. So I hope that God continues to give me the strength and the patience to do all of these wonderful things and to remember, that all the glory goes to Him.
Yes, Lord. Ooh, listen, people, we going over time, but guess what? There's always a space for a fun question. Mm. Your fun question is coming right up. Well, actually, yeah. Do you have any regrets? And what are they?
Hmm. I think my only regret is that I did not begin to pursue my career as a creative earlier. I didn't take it seriously. I got this wonderful gift from God to write, to teach, and I did not take it seriously at all at the beginning. And if my only regret then would be to go back and shake myself and say, hey,
Yeah.
get this thing going. So I think I would have been much further along in everything that I do. I would have been much further along if I had, you know, done what I was supposed to do earlier on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my only regret right about now.
And that is it, audience. Sometimes what we do, we have regrets. And because we cannot go back in time into 1962, we cannot go back into time. I would like to encourage you, as well as the audience who have regrets, to press the fast forward button and move on into your future. Move on into it and say, you know what? Time has been my master.
Mm,
And time, it says, I got you now. So let's work with now as the BFF and go out there and create and keep on creating, keep on utilizing the gifts, the talent that were given to you. We were all given our specific gifts, our specific talents, and it's up to us not to take them to our grave.
mm, that's correct.
We don't want to make the grave rich, honey. No. And so many people get into the grave with their gifts and their talents attached to their still bodies. And we cannot go back in there and say, oh, yeah, remember you were supposed to do this.
That's
No.
correct.
So while you live, keep on creating. While you live, keep on making God smile with what He gave you. So I want to thank you so much for showing up. I mean, people, we're in Trinidad right now. That's all I'm going to say. It's carnival time. We up in Trinidad. It's what's happening. She's all the way from Trinidad right now. It's carnival time. They might not have no big Juve morning going on up in there, but guess what? It is carnival time up in Trinidad. So I can't thank you enough to show up right here on the question. And I'd like to say to my guests, to my left, there is a chair. That is
Mm,
the best chair. Now that you're here, you are now a part of the guest chair. Simply
okay.
mean you are not a fan. You are family. You are family. You're part of this safe space. You're part of this place that says, hey, whenever you're ready to come back, knock on the door and I will welcome you back, just like a mother saying, welcome home. Oh, welcome back home. So whenever
Thank
you're ready to come back here, this is home for you.
thank you very much for that invitation. Thank you very much.
Yes. So as I send you off into your nightfall to have great, bigger dreams, I send peace and love and blessing and prosperity and of course success to you, to your space, to your thought, to everything, to your country. I send these things to you as you go on into your future, being the best version of yourself and making God smile at every moment because that is our intent when He created us for Him to smile at what He gave us. What He deposited in us, we must utilize it. We must put it out there so He can smile at us. And audience, I do the same thing for you, Alexis, Sharon, Bad Fountain, and those who are watching on YouTube that I cannot see. I send the same kind of pronunciation to you that you may walk in peace, you may walk in love, you may walk in prosperity, knowing that when you walk, You are never, ever alone because God is in front, beside, behind, and around you. So, my darling, is there any last word do you want to grace us with?
Um, yeah, I just want to say thank you to my sister. I know she was here before Vernie for always being a support to me. That girl's my rock. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you to all of you who are here live, who are listening afterwards. Continue to write, continue to create, continue to be an inspiration to those around you. You are here for a purpose, and you definitely, definitely need to do it because it will need you. So thank you very much.
All
Thank
right.
you to you for having me here and being a wonderful host.
Yes, and Phil, welcome back, darling. Yes, I see one of my pastors over there. I like to say welcome back home because this is home for you, everyone. This is home. Again, this is your host, Verona Willis-Brown, saying, hey, from my heart to your heart, I said, peace and blessings. But I want to tell my audience, if you are out there and you do have a story. You do have a book. You do have work in progress. Bring it here so we can share, build, and grow together. But most of all, support each other on this journey called life. Life cannot be nowhere with one person. It need us. It need us, you and I. Exactly. So come on in. Bring your work, bring your story, knock on the door, let me open to you. I could feed you. You don't have to digest, but I'm still going to feed you. Again, this is your host, Verona Willis-Brown, right here on the Question Live Show. Hope to see you next week, same time, same place. As you come on in, what you gonna come with? Your drink and your writing tools so we can learn, empower, motivate, and transform lives together. See you on the next go around, which is next week. Have yourself a wonderful morning, noon, or night, whatever it is, or wherever you're tuning in from. I like how God can put me in different places at different time. This is what God does. See you on the next go around. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us for further information.